G'day guys, my name's Dave Trant and welcome to another Guitar Zero to Hero song tutorial. And in this lesson, I'll be teaching you the acoustic version of Sex by the 1975. Now for this lesson, I'm going to reference the performance that Matt Healy did for Last.fm here. The thing is that every time he plays this thing live acoustically, he always changes it up a little bit. So I'm going to be teaching you what he plays here in this video. For the basics, you'll need your guitar in standard tuning and you'll need a capo on the 7th fret of your guitar. Now if you want to master your chords back to front, then be sure to head over to GuitarZero2Hero.com to pick up my free guitar ebook. Now when he plays this live, he does always add a whole bunch of embellishments, and these might confuse a lot of you, but if you just strip it down back to the bare basic chords, then you'll be able to pick it up quite easily. Before we jump into the chords, there's going to be a really generic strumming pattern that we're going to use. It's just a down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up strumming pattern. And that's just going to be played throughout the whole song. We're just going to keep that steady rhythm, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. But what you want to do though is accent the strums on the 2 beat and on the 4 beat. And what I mean by accent is that you'll just strum them a little bit harder. So it'll sound like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So let's start with the intro, and we're going to have just 2 chords here, a C chord and then a G chord. Now the way that Matt Healy plays his G chord, from the C chord he'll just take the ring finger and put it on the 3rd fret of the 6th string relative to the capo, and his pinky finger will go onto the 3rd fret of the 1st string relative to the capo. And that's his G chord. Now up here in the annotations, you'll see a little number above each chord, and that will just indicate the amount of strumming patterns you're going to play for that particular chord. So 2 strumming patterns for the C and 4 strumming patterns for this G. So the intro will just sound like this. Now we get to verse 1, and it's just 1 line of chords repeated through twice. We have our C chord, and then we're going to go to an F chord. Now you can play a regular F chord here if you want to, but I'm going to teach you the F chord that Matt Healy plays. So from the C chord, you'll lift your ring and middle finger, you'll leave your index finger where it is, and you'll take your ring finger and put it on the 3rd fret relative to the capo on the 4th string. Now what he does is he takes his thumb and he actually reaches over the top of his fretboard and pushes down on the 1st fret of the 6th string. And you can leave the 5th, 3rd and 1st strings open. And that's his F chord, which is technically an F major 9. That F chord's played for 2 strumming patterns, and then we go to the G chord shape that he plays for another 2 strumming patterns. You're going to repeat that line through twice, and so verse 1 will just sound like this. 1. Now this song doesn't have a definitive verse or chorus, but I've tried my best to group these up into digestible sections. So next up, what I'm going to call chorus 1, we have 5 chords here. We have C for 2 strumming patterns, then a G for 1 strumming pattern, then we have an A minor 7. So that's just the same as a C chord, except you'll lift your ring finger and you'll strum that from the 5th string onwards. So that's A minor 7, and then we go to our F major 9 chord, and then finally end on the G chord again. For our first chorus, we're just playing this line through once, and it'll sound like this. Then we get to what I'm going to call verse 2, and it's essentially the same as verse 1. We have the same 3 chords, so C, F, and then G, except the amount of strumming patterns we're going to play for each of these chords differs a little bit. Then when we go to our F though, we're playing that for 3 strumming patterns, and then the G for 1. And we're playing this line through twice. So verse 2 will just sound like this. For the next section, I'm going to refer to it as the bridge. We have two lines of chords here. The first line of chords is our F chord, then we go to our G chord, then A minor 7, and then back to our G chord. For the second line of chords, we start with our F, we go to our G for one strumming pattern, then we're going to go to a G sharp diminished. So to play the G sharp diminished, you'll take your middle finger, put it on the 4th fret of the 6th string, and you'll take your ring finger and put it on the 4th fret of the 3rd string. And you'll have the 5th string muted by just resting it over the top of that string whilst you're pushing down on the 6th string. So your 4th, 2nd and 1st strings can be open. And this is G sharp diminished. That's going to be played for one strumming pattern. Then we're going to our A minor 7, back to a G, down to an F, and then back up to a G. Just be sure to refer to the numbers up here in the annotations for how many times you need to play each chord. So altogether the bridge will sound like this. Next, after that bridge section, there's a short break where not much singing happens. There's just the guitar, and we just have two chords here. We're going to play our F chord shape for two strumming patterns and our G chord shape for two strumming patterns, which is really nice and easy. Then finally, we have our second chorus / outro, and these chords are just going to be the same as our first chorus. So a 5-chord chord progression. So we have C, G, A minor 7, F, and then back to a G. And then we're just going to repeat this line until the end of the song. So that's everything for the song. If you're still confused, then you can head to the link in the description below, and that will have the chords in context with the lyrics so you can see what's going on. Now I'll be playing through the whole song in its entirety, and I'll have a vocal track on top for some context. So feel free to play this back as many times as you'd like to practice, play along to, and see how you go. Hope you guys have enjoyed this tutorial. Be sure to hit that like button, hit subscribe, and click the little notification bell so that you don't miss out on my updates. Again, if you want to master your chords back to front, then be sure to head over to GuitarZero2Hero.com to pick up my free guitar ebook. Please leave your thoughts, comments, questions, and requests for Throwback Thursday down below, and I'll see you guys next time on Guitar Zero to Hero. Cheers.